The first iPhone Fold mockup showcases a radical new design for a folding phone. Someone constructed a model of the rumored iPhone Fold based on leaked CAD data, and it's like nothing we've seen before. It's all but confirmed by Apple themselves that their almost legendary foldable iPhone will be releasing next year alongside the iPhone 18. As manufacturing nears, more and more facts have begun leaking about the impending foldable, and along with them, newer and better renders as well. According to sources, the foldable iPhone is scheduled to arrive next year. Now, foldable phones have been around for a while, so the concept isn't new, but Apple's take on it certainly is. If you've been wondering what an iPhone Fold, or whatever Apple decides to call it, is going to look like, we might have an idea right now. We could get an idea of how real this square-ish design is at Worldwide Developers Conference in June. Though Apple won't expressly address this new form factor, the company can introduce techniques for developers to modify app UI designs so that their apps would be able to adjust and maintain usefulness. It could potentially go so far as to preview the folding phone months before it releases, as it did with the original iPhone back in 2007. Courtesy of John Prosser at Front Page Tech, the YouTuber published a video today displaying the iPhone Fold's design in full. Prosser argues Apple has chosen to develop a book-style foldable instead of a clamshell because of what he feels Apple has accomplished successfully here. The iPhone Fold reportedly boasts a 5.5-inch display on the front, while the interior panel will measure 7.8 inches. The highlight, of course, is the crease, or the lack of it. Prosser said Apple is utilizing a combination of a pressure-dispersing metal plate, liquid metal in the hinge, and an in-cell touch display to give iPhone Fold a crease-free design. The assertion lines up with an earlier story that indicates Apple is creating ultra-thin flexible glass expressly to combat the crease problem. If accurate, this could represent Apple's biggest contribution to foldable hardware ever. Moreover, the iPhone Fold reportedly measures 9mm when folded and just 4.5mm when unfolded. The iPhone Fold is believed to run on Apple's A20 Pro chip. It will also employ Apple's second-generation C2 modem and a high-density battery that should deliver exceptional battery life. As for cameras, you should expect two at the back, contained in an iPhone Air-like module. You'll also get one camera on the cover display and another on the internal screen. Sadly, no under-display camera. Another report that corroborates earlier suspicions is that the Fold will bypass Face ID in favor of a fingerprint sensor. It will live in the power button, which Prosser believes Apple has moved to the top of the smartphone. Last but not least, Prosser claims the iPhone Fold will come in only black and white color variants, and at a price between $2,000 and $2,500. Apple is believed to have insisted on having a minimum, nearly imperceptible wrinkle on the folding screen, and that's a key feature of this movie, even though Chinese foldables have had minimal creases for years now. Will the iPhone Fold's crease be even smaller, actually invisible and hard to feel? Maybe, but what's the purpose in claiming that every other foldable ever manufactured has a large crease? Maybe you can tell us. After considerable refinement, these renders give us probably our most realistic look at the foldable iPhone yet. According to leaks pouring in from across multiple sources, the foldable iPhone will be taking an odd form. The external display will be relatively a lot smaller, and the phone will be broader than it is tall when unfolded. Apple might be seeking for an experience similar to using an iPad, which will also allow the company to deploy iPad OS software on its foldable. The external display will simply be there for quick dismissal of notifications and for monitoring the clock. However, it would presumably be usable as a standard phone as well. According to all of the information that we have, this is quite similar to what the final product will likely appear to be. If there is any mistake here, it's that the external display might be a bit larger here than the leaked size specs of 5.49 inches. Also, according to the latest insider leaks, you can see a very little crease going over the display of the phone. While Apple has been doing its best to build a phone that has no crease at all, insiders suggest that it has been unable to achieve it as of yet. However, they also claim that the hinge on the foldable iPhone is the most advanced in the business, so the wrinkle will at least be very low. In my perspective, the design of the foldable iPhone is really hit and miss. Some people might like it, while others might not. I personally was initially thrilled to see the phone in action, but after the design surfaced, the foldable iPhone lost me. Still, Samsung feels it might have potential, hence the next Galaxy Foldable that will also look the same. This form factor, albeit not novel, might catch on following the foldable iPhone, like other things in the past that Apple has pushed. Much like many of those things, however, I will not be a fan of this change. After Google pivoted away from its hefty book-like foldable form factor found in the first Pixel Fold, Apple's planned iPhone Fold and a future Samsung Foldable may just end up duplicating the same idea. The initial Pixel Fold launched in 2023 as a device that, while remarkable for a first go, was a tad underwhelming in the long term due to concerns with overheating. But the design factor was quite uncommon in the market at the time, with a tiny and wide exterior display that opened to a wider internal canvas. It was the exact opposite of Z Fold design of the time, which featured a very small outer display that produced a portrait-optimized inner display, which admittedly is still better for apps. For its second and third generations, Google walked back its original design for something more akin to Samsung's path. So why, after the entire Android market went all in on taller foldable form factors, are we going back to the original Pixel Fold's design? I guess it all boils down to the apps. For years now, I've been saying that Samsung's original take on the Fold's inner display aspect ratio is the right choice for apps right now. Many Android apps haven't been upgraded for appropriate tablet support, and with a widescreen folding display like that of the original Pixel Fold, that was a detriment to the entire experience. It's very much the reason why Google was right to change its design with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, but as Google has consistently invested in expanding Android's tablet app selection, it might be the appropriate time to give this overlooked form factor another chance. That same reason, though, is why it's an absolute no-brainer for Apple to be moving down this route. The inner display of an iPhone Fold matching that of the iPad immediately unlocks an app library that Android foldables can currently only dream of, though I'd imagine some apps will need scaling updates, not that Apple ever has trouble getting developers on board with new ideas, even the bad ones. But you will definitely pay dearly for the creaseless iPhone screen. Another report by Fubin Research says the iPhone Fold could cost as much as $2,399, which would make it the most expensive foldable smartphone on the market, higher than the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold, Samsung Galaxy Flip 7, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, Motorola Razr Ultra, and Motorola Razr, all of which range between $700 and $2,000. Financial services group UBS has a relatively modest projection for the iPhone Fold. Analysts at the bank believe the cost will be between $1,800 and $2,000. Apple did not immediately respond to a request for comment. That early reported $2,400 price tag would pack a wallop, but so could the Fold's potential game-changing design excellence. The market has slowly increased since the first foldable phone was unveiled in 2018. And no one has yet been able to produce one that doesn't display a crease after numerous folds. The OnePlus Open has the least obvious crease of all the foldables, and there's even a subreddit celebrating the advantages of its near creaselessness, but a crease is still a crease. The complex components and design work contributed to the expensive consumer cost, however. Fubin research analyst Arthur Leo said the OLED display, hinge, and lightweight internals will likely drive up the price of the iPhone Fold. He also said RAM costs had climbed 75% in the past year, and total material cost could increase 5% to 7% in 2026 owing to rising demand for semiconductors, memory, and storage. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.